Thanks for joining me for another video, you guys. Your boy, the Informant, back with another video. Welcome. We are here.
This is my, fourth or fifth now, and I have never seen a State of the Union that was so disrupted by members of either party, even under.
So when she says disrupted, she's talking about Joe Biden getting into an argument with a bunch of people that booed him. The worst thing that happened during this whole State of the Union was people booing him, and they had a right to boo him because they didn't agree with the policy. Now, if she sees that as disruptive, what do you think she sees you guys protesting in the street as? You guys are damn near terrorists.
President Donald Trump, we saw nowhere near the level of jeering, interruption, etc., that we saw by some of, I want to say the extreme elements of the Republican Party, but they are now being embraced and uplifted as the center of the Republican Party. And
unlike the squad, they're being embraced. Now, that's got to feel real bad for you. Now, if the MAGA crowd is being embraced by the Republicans, but yet the squad has to integrate into the Democratic Party, because they're not being embraced by the Democratic Party as a new forward way of thinking, that has to be embarrassing for you. This is her admitting, she's admitting defeat. She's literally just admitting defeat.
It's really shocking. Even the things that the overall Republican Party refused to stand for, paying public school teachers, public health policy, basic education policy, raising the wage for some of our lowest paid workers in the United States.
Yeah, she should be looking down at the floor, because she can look down at the floor and look at the past 2 years. They have done absolutely none of this, what she's talking about, and the Democrats had control. We came out there, we voted for them. Unfortunately, I voted for them in 2020. I'm a registered Democratic voter, but now I'm moving towards independence because these frauds, the Democratic Party in the fraud squad, they have absolutely no idea what they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. Now, she's over here talking as if pretty much the MAGA latching off of the Republicans is a bad thing, when the squad was supposed to be a latch onto the Democratic Party, but moving us towards another, like a tugboat. When a tugboat is pulling another boat or whatever you want to call it. I guess I'm getting that little analogy right or whatever. Really don't matter. But like if your car has to get towed away, the towing is supposed to be done by the squad, pretty much. And the squad is not towing the Democratic Party towards more progressive values. They're actually joining the Democratic Party inside of this broken car.
This should be really basic stuff, sky is blue kind of stuff. And the Republican Party, I think, really show the country who they are tonight, that they have been taken over, and that this isn't some right wing. This is the ethos of the modern Republican Party.
We did see the president focus on economic issues and sort of bread and butter issues and working families, middle class families, practical issues throughout almost the duration of his speech. He talked a little bit about Ukraine. He talked a little bit about the Roe versus Wade decision for a little bit. He spent considerable time on police violence and trying to get some sort of police reform.
Roe versus Wade, which the Democrats aren't even fighting for. Now, she's talking about bread and butter issues. She's so full of it. I don't know who this woman is on the left side, but she's so full of herself.
But we really saw him talk about nuts and bolts stuff, kitchen table stuff, wages, dignity of work, jobs, healthcare costs, access to healthcare. I have to imagine that in your district, given its
so access to healthcare. So if you guys are unaware of this, she's part of the Congress. She's part of Congress. Not only does this woman, AOC, has multiple houses or multiple places she rent out. I really don't give a damn about her situation. But she has some of the best health care that the taxpayers, which is you and me, are paying for. So this is why AOC doesn't give a damn about Medicare for all, because we're paying for her health care pretty much. So she don't care about Medicare for all because she's getting hers. This whole Medicare for all shit, the squad don't care about that anymore, you guys. I mean, it's a wrap for people that believe in the squad right now.
Profound diversity, both ethnic and economic diversity.
Diversity. Get that H out of here.
I'm guessing that has to be welcome, just in terms of that being such a large focus of the president's remarks.
Yes, absolutely. I do think that the forcefulness of some of the language that he used, calling out Big Pharma by name, really naming these caps.
James Clyburn, Joe Biden are some of the Big Pharma's biggest influencers. Pretty much, if you think of a TikToker, how they influence whatever brand they're trying to sell, that's Joe Biden and James Clyburn. What is she talking about? Is she trying to get on the team? Or what's going on?
That we have passed on the price of insulin, on out-of-pocket costs, it is powerful. And this is some of the most animating issues that touch the material reality of everyday Americans. I think he did a good job of that, while also not letting off corporate greed. As you know, he called out the profit margins of big oil. I mean, I think that it was definitely impactful, and it.
You have to excuse me right now, because isn't big oil robbing the EU right now, the European Union, because they had to buy their gas from us? Because I'm not going to say what happened, what event happened, but we all should know what event happened, leading to them having to buying more natural resources from us, like oil. But after that thing was pew up, they started buying more gas from us. So what is she talking about? Of course, oil is going to get a big profit because we helped them get a big profit. Your boss, AOC, Fraud Squad, helped them get a bigger profit. What are you talking about? You're trying to fight them. You're not trying to combat anything but your BS.
Was surprising, I think, even to some of us, compared to some of his past State of the Unions.
Let me ask you about something I just referenced a moment ago, but let me just ask you in detail about what you thought about the president's lengthy and I thought quite empathetic remarks about police violence. He talked about how members of law enforcement are risking their lives when they put on the shield, and that they deserve to come home just like the communities they protect. But community members deserve to come home too, and there have been too many people killed, and it's not getting better fast enough. And he spent a lot of time engaging with Tyre Nichols' parents, who were there in the gallery watching.
Bruh. Stop. This whole Tyrese Nichols is going to be the George Floyd if you can get the black vote in 2024. Just stop that crap. Tyrese Nichols is pretty much the George Floyd of 2020. They're trying to move, get black people emotionally connected to this. Pretty much what it is Tyrese Nichols is going to be our George Floyd for 2024. So, pretty much vote because of Tyrese Nichols' injustice and all that. When in fact, James Clyburn, Joe Biden are the results. The results of how long they've been in there. James Clyburn 30-something years. Joe Biden been in there, I think, 50-something years. It's because of them. We're talking about that the country has been on a downward spiral, but who's been at the helm of this downward spiral? They've been sitting in office doing absolutely nothing, been taken care of by their corporate donors. That's why nobody can really run against them, because it costs millions of dollars to run these congressional seats, and their price is only going to get higher, because while we talk about the prices of gas and everything else going up, the price to campaign on a federal level for a federal seat, the reason it's so high is because they want to keep the same people in office. This is why we don't actually know our representative. They give us representatives. This is why when you look at that ballot, these are a bunch of people you don't know. They don't live in your community, but they represent your community. They black like you. They're Hispanic like you. It's all this other crap. They're LGBTQIA just like you. It's a bunch of crap. What is she talking about? So, I don't know.
And we know so many other family members of people who've been killed by police were
You don't
there
care.
tonight in the room to pay witness. What do you make of the president's remarks and about what he's substantively proposing?
That's right. Try to cry.
I was surprised by the president's remarks and his focus on reform, the focus on justice, and really his focus on centering the families that have been so deeply impacted by police violence and police brutality, and really centering this discussion around reform. If you contrast that with his speech just a year ago, where this two-dimensional frame of fund or defund, and it was, we're going to fund the police.
Joe Biden has been funding the police for
and
over
one that
50
advocates
years. What are you talking
have been
about?
asking for a long time. See what is happening on the ground. See and acknowledge the reality that our communities are experiencing, and that this is a problem that has gone unaddressed.
What up?
This
millionaire chick right here, because if you evaluate all her assets put together, she's well over $1 million. So when she says community, is she talking about the rich people community? Because I know she's not talking about the Latinos or the black communities, because she wants to pretend that, oh yeah, I'm down for the cause. Oh yeah, I'm Malcolm X. Fight the power. Whatever the hell she's pretending to be right now. I don't really know what she's pretending to be. I really don't care what she's pretending to be. But she's not doing anything. What is she talking about? Our communities. I'll be damned if this woman just gets away with it. When James Clyburn goes to an event, he goes with 5 cops around him. You know what I'm saying? That tells you all you need to know right there. And AOC is no different. She always complains about, oh, my life's in danger. She says that way when you see her surrounded by enforcement, whether it's her personal security, law enforcement, whatever, you have to dismiss it because her life's in so-called danger.
And so for him to stand up there, to name, the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, which in and of itself, advocates already believe that it doesn't really go far enough to address the core underlying issues. But still, for him to name this legislation, it's a long way from just a year ago, where it was really just about how much more money can we pile into these local departments in order to fix this issue. I also think it's an acknowledgement of the fact that this isn't really connected to funding much at all in terms of how we actually lower these instances of horrific violence in communities. And so I thought it was encouraging. I know myself and some other members were kind of waiting for the shoe to drop. We felt like there was kind of this wind up and that there was going to be a but. And I think we were very relieved and surprised that there was no but, that there was just an acknowledgement that this is actually a problem. And
we don't need no Dems.
Really
so this heifer just sat there and talking about, oh, he gave us acknowledgement. Oh, look, he looked at it. Yo, it's not, you're not up there to look at a problem. You're up there to fix a problem. What is this heifer talking about?
Here, New York Democratic
Congressman. You know, this was just a waste of an interview. I guess she got all the miles out of that, so I guess she can look. I don't know what she's trying to do. But the bucking of the eyes. Look at this bucking of the eyes.
But also in the way he's willing to talk about Biden himself has come on this issue.
Jesus Christ, man. This woman is crazy. She's freaking crazy. This is why people say fraud squad. You know what I mean? Like, Lord, that was an embarrassing interview, if anything. Okay, that's enough of that right there.